In a wide and green forest, there lived a monkey. Every day, this monkey wakes up with one simple goal, namely to survive. To survive, he needs bananas. To get bananas, he had to collect leaves. In that forest, leaves are a medium of exchange. Not food, not shelter, but something that all creatures agree upon as determining value. The monkey worked hard. He climbed the tree, collected as many leaves as possible, then exchanged them for bananas. Banana eaten, energy returns, day ends. Tomorrow, the same cycle repeats. Nothing strange, nothing is wrong. That's how most of the monkeys in the forest live. However, as time went on, the monkey began to feel a strange sense of fatigue. Not tired of the muscles, but tired of life. Every day is full of effort, but there is no change in position. Leaves always run out. Bananas are always out. There is never a backup. There is never a feeling of security. Life feels like running in place. Leaves come and go. Bananas come and go. Nothing survives. At times like that, this monkey begins to pay attention to one small thing that is often overlooked. There are certain monkeys whose lives don't look busy, but they never really run out of bananas. They don't seem stronger, they don't seem more diligent, and they don't always collect more leaves. But the flow of bananas into their lives seems more steady. Without conversation, without announcements, the difference was clear in the way of life. The monkeys have banana trees, not just picking bananas from the forest, but owning the tree. Every season, the tree bears fruit. Not always a lot, not always fast, but it keeps repeating itself. That was the point where the concept of investing emerged, although the monkeys never called it by any name. Investment in the monkey world is when leaves are not directly exchanged for bananas to eat, but are converted into something that can produce bananas in the future. Leaves stop being a means of momentary consumption and turn into seeds of sustainability. This decision did not come without consequences. When leaves are diverted to have banana trees, the number of bananas that can be eaten that day decreases. The stomach is not as full as usual. Energy feels a little more drained. Life gets a little more uncomfortable in the short term. However, the inconvenience was worth it. Day after day passed, the banana tree grows. At first it was small, barely felt the impact. One bunch of bananas does not change your life drastically. In fact, it often looks like a detrimental decision. The sacrificed leaves were noticeably larger than the resulting bananas. But time works in its own way. While the monkeys who only exchanged leaves for bananas had to continue working without pause, the monkeys who had banana trees began to notice subtle differences. There are days when bananas are still available even though the leaves collected are not as many as usual. There's a little breathing room that wasn't there before. This is the essence of investing that is often not understood. Investing is not about big results that are immediately visible. Investment is about creating distance between business and survival, about building something that still produces results even though the energy is not fully devoted. On the other hand, monkeys who live only from exchanging leaves and bananas live in complete dependence on this day. If today he fails to collect leaves, then that day he loses the banana. No buffer, no backup, there's no time for pain, fatigue, or missteps. Banana trees change that dynamic. That doesn't mean life is problem-free. Trees can die, forests can change, seasons can change, the risk remains. However, there is a big difference between living without any support at all and living with something working quietly behind the scenes. Bananas in this story are not just food. Bananas are all things that add value to life. It could be a place to live, work tools, small business, ownership, or knowledge. As long as something can produce new value, it acts as a banana tree. Leaves, on the other hand, are just tools. It is important, but never the end goal. The problem arises when all the leaves are always used up for bananas, which immediately disappear. There is nothing left to plant. Nothing has been developed. Many monkeys live in conditions where the leaves they collect are very limited. Banana prices rise. Competition is getting tougher. In such a situation, the decision not to exchange all the leaves for bananas feels risky. It even feels impossible. But precisely in that condition, Investment becomes the difference between a life that continues to be trapped in a cycle and a life that slowly builds a foothold. Investing is not about being the smartest monkey. It's not a matter of knowing all types of banana trees. Investing is a matter of patience, self-control, and the courage to delay gratification. When the monkey chooses to have a banana tree, he is saying to life, without words, that he does not want to be forever dependent on today. He wanted a future that was a little more stable, a little calmer. And in that forest, without cheers, without celebrations, the difference between monkeys who only eat bananas and monkeys who plant banana trees slowly becomes clear. One kept running, others started to stand firmer. That's investment.